Lyndon LaRouche, back in 1985, speaking to the Schiller Institute in December of that year, shocked the audience by basically posing a kind of task to them that very few in the audience had ever heard posed to them before. We're going to show you an excerpt from that.
As an address and paper to the recent Schiller Institute conference in Rome on St. Augustine. I shall address that to the questions which predominantly, but not exclusively, those of you from the United States must face and face efficiently during the coming year. While only a few of you, and almost none of those outside this room in the United States, presently understand this fact, the fate of civilization on this planet, not only for today and tomorrow, but the fate of the attempt to build civilization in Europe over more than 2,500 years will rest, will fall, or prevail on the basis of what is done during 1986, and in the greatest degree upon what is done within this fading, collapsing, rotting superpower we call the United States. The question here is not a question of being like Aristotelian commentators or the Oracle of Delphi, to give oracles, paradoxical oracles, which will tell you as contemplators what the prophets will tell you will happen to the United States. We are not writing Lower Greek tragedy. The question is an eminently practical question. What difference does your personal existence mean for the outcome of the entirety of human history and existence during 1986? And I do not exaggerate. In a true republic, the true citizen of a true republic is personally accountable to the Creator for the outcome of that republic, for the outcome of the general welfare as it affects all persons in that republic, of the outcome thus of every personal life in that republic, and the outcome of the role of that republic in the world for the welfare of humanity as a whole and of every individual personality, present and future, of humanity as a whole. The individual citizen of a republic is personally accountable to the Creator to the extent that that individual either has the capacity to influence the course of events or can develop the capacity needed to influence the course of events.
On Lynn's comments, this is a very powerful conception. I mean, the whole idea of democracy was attacked very effectively by Plato in the Republic as a system which can lead to tyranny, the tyranny of public opinion, in other words, of manipulation. And this is something that Lynn brought up from the time I met him in early 1971. throughout his life that the difference between a Republican system, in which you have a presidency which represents the interests of the general welfare of the entire population, is different from a democracy. And it only works, as Lynn pointed out in that excerpt, the second excerpt you showed, when each citizen takes responsibility for the outcome of policy. And I think this is the point that Mrs. LaRouche has been emphasizing, that you may think you're just one person, but every person who speaks out and raises the question of the hypocrisy and the insanity of this war doctrine, of the Green New Deal, of the Great Reset, every person who speaks out becomes an important figure in shaping an opposition. And more importantly, not just an opposition, but building the kind of dialogue in the population so that we can get alternative policies through. So instead of being a pessimist and thinking there's nothing you can do, we're dependent on whether Biden is going to do decent things or not. Of course, if you're dependent on Biden, forget it. No, it's the individual citizen's responsibility. So I just thought that was very powerful. And I'm very happy that you included that in the program today.